You're listening to Schrodinger's Track, aka the Schrod Pod. If this is your first episode, then let me explain the premise to you. In Schrodinger's Tracks, we will be seeking out the weirdest album covers we can find from bands we've never heard of to see if you can in fact judge an album by its cover. Pretty simple premise, right? Let's see how it goes. I said it would never happen. Schrodinger's Track. Schrodinger's Track? Tracks with an S?
Track works because it rhymes with cat.
But is it an accurate description of what's happening?
For the first album it was, because we only had one takeaway track from it.
Okay, fair enough. Welcome
Hopefully
to
with
Schrodinger's Track. Welcome to Schrodinger's Track, episode 2. This week, we'll be looking at the cover of the album The Visitor by the band Cigar.
Cigar, so...
Matt, tell me why you picked this out for us.
This isn't a cheat, by the way. I had sort of my soundtrack playing on my streaming service of choice, and I think at the time I was listening to things like Descendants, Anti-Flag, Propaganda, and this came up as a suggestion, and it played one track, which I think is track 7 on this, and I was like, that's a cool cover, this is a really good song, this is the type of thing we should review on Schrodinger's Track.
Okay. Yeah, so it's a different style of music. I'm cool with that. I like my punk and shit. The album cover itself looks pretty fucking badass, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's like I'm getting lots of In Utero by Nirvana vibes and lots of Tool type vibes as well, even though I know the music's not like that. But yeah, it's like an old school like paperback battered novel with this weird angel skeleton thing on it.
The reason why I instantly said yes when you sent me the picture of this is because it looks like 1970s pulp sci-fi.
Yeah.
Which is my exact jam.
Yeah.
Like Harlan Ellison, Ray Bradbury, and yeah, all those lads. I eat that shit up. That's like the only thing I'll actually sit down and read. I like that shit.
One of the details I like, and you can see it on the cover. You can kind of see it on the back more because it's zoomed in, but the band are in the eyes of the skull.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
Is it a 3-piece?
Yeah, it looks it.
Oh wow, yeah.
Again, like we've not wikied the band.
You see more detail of that skull. You can see like he's got like electrodes attached to his brain, and he's already in like a space helmet.
Yeah.
Like the actual man on the front cover, it's like a Da Vinci kind of sort dude. So like the skeleton is in the foreground, and then there's like muscles behind it, and then there's a Vitruvian man behind him.
Yes.
Who's more metallic in nature, golden. Has angel wings, so it's like the superior man versus the raw human elements, which is being subjugated to some kind of electronic law. Makes me want to read that book.
Yeah, it's going to be quite interesting because this came out only last year. So this is the thing. At least with MOD, we could give it a bit of context. With Cigar, I've got to admit, I'm not really following a lot of new stuff, but if a lot of new bands are like this, I'd really want to listen to them. This came out on Fat Records, Fat Mike's label. So yeah, like lots of bands we know on there, and after doing, again, we've only done very, very light touch research, as much as we can around the band.
I know not a damn thing, so I'm excited to see what's going to happen here, because I haven't listened to a good 3-piece in ages.
Yeah. So
apart from Danko Jones.
So Fat Records, obviously, Fat Mike, no FX. There's so many good, but I didn't know this about Fat Records before, but they only sign bands to a 1-record deal to basically give them the option to see what they want to do. So on their books at the minute is like obviously No FX, Against Me, Lagwagon, Sick of It All, Teenage Bottle Rocket, and it's like nice.
My boys.
And then you look at the bands that have been through the label, so it's like Descendants, Anti-Flag, Less Than Jake, Masked Intruder, Propaganda, Rise Against. It's like
it's a who's who.
Yeah, it's the label's got a lot of caliber. I know we talked about Megaforce in the last episode having a lot of star power, but Fat Records definitely has as well. So that's why I hope that, like, as I say, heard one song, but one song does not make an album.
The cover is just really fucking cool, though. Like, Apart from the fact that the Vitruvian Man is like gold, and like the book itself is like a really nice mellow blue, but then the cover of the album that the book's resting on is like a blue tint to it as well. It just looks warm. It looks like it vibes like it's going to be like that propaganda kind of landscape feel to it. And the fact that it is books, just in the background as well, it's like these are going to be some smart songs. I hope this is not going to be your typical punk rock. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I do enjoy the typical punk rock, but but then also as I say that, I'm worried because Propaganda is a very dense, hard band to get into because they are an intelligent band. It's like when I was really trying hard to get people who weren't punks into Bad Religion. And they were like, why is he using so many big words? It's like, that's like the best part of it, you dick.
Well, we'll see on it. As I say, I've only heard one song, and I really like it. So I think we just throw it on.
Yeah, man, let's drop the needle, as it were. I hope you're enjoying this episode. Looking forward, I'm going to look into getting some sponsors to fill these little gaps here. But just so we're not big fat sellouts living off that corporate teat, if you've got anything you'd like to plug, your band, your podcast, just get in touch with us via the Schrod Pod Instagram, and we'll mention it in these little breaks here. And now back to the show. Alright, that was pretty good.
I'm enjoying it.
It was okay.
I'm enjoying it.
It was good. Yeah.
It's very quick.
Yeah, I like that. I like the musical element of it. It's definitely skate punk. Isn't it? If someone said to me, what does skate punk sound like? I would like that. Yeah,
it's like the musicality of it as well. It's not just sort of standard, just play as quick as humanly possible. There is some nuance to it. I can't remember which song. It's 7 plies. I'd like to see the 7 plies. Like the bass solo is mental.
Yeah, out of nowhere as well. It's like when it comes out of nowhere, you go, holy shit, that's even more impressive.
Yeah, they change things up a lot.
Yeah.
I think I've made a note. Like I know we're skipping between songs. The minute like the last song on that side, where it's like it's getting a bit samey. We've had like 5 songs of it just being all over the place, and the breakdown just went. As soon as you think the song's like, oh, this is the way the song's going, there'll be a breakdown. And it's like, fuck. It's like it's something new again.
Can I say this? Right. I don't dislike this kind of music, but there's a reason that I don't listen to more of it. It's because it all kind of sounds like the same genre. It doesn't sound the same.
Yeah.
It all fits into that same genre, which I never feel like I need to listen to. You get me?
Yeah.
It's like when they do that, what's the dude from Green Day? Billy Joel? The guy from Green Day. Like,
not Billy Joel, but Billy Joe Armstrong.
There you go, yeah, Billy Joel. He's got that weird talky voice thing that he does.
Oh, yeah, it's similar delivery.
But I like this. Yeah. And it's kind of like in that, and there are other bands that I've heard and I've gone like, oh, that's good, but I can't do too much of this.
It's
I need
intense.
a signal from it.
Yeah, it's very intense.
It's also like when they're as musically talented as they are, like the focus tends to drift away from the vocal importance, which is kind of key to me.
Yeah, I have picked out a few sort of verses and choruses on this side, but the delivery is so quick. If I had to sum up the side, relentless.
Yes.
That's
part of the style, though, isn't it? It's part of the genre.
Yeah, there's no, even though there's breakdowns, there's not, there's no room to breathe as much. Like you can't come up for air. It's just straight through at 100 miles an hour. Like there are, especially compared to the last release the
last episode, now available on taphatsandcanes.com.
So I think like I say, the 7 piles plies, sketchy dog, sock puppet kid, and he's playing with blocks, slasher, crumbling wall, and his name, loud one surrounded by clocks, and the rat bones yardstick over the caution and flames, the original vision the same. Like, it's just delivered at such a pace. Like, there's so much to unpack there, but you haven't got time.
Exactly. I didn't really pick up any outstanding lyrics apart from like the choruses, which I enjoyed because they were the most
Rising.
Yeah.
It's the whoa
Yeah.
like that you get in like classic punk, where it's like it's sing along to, and it's that up and down. There's no one going whoa in the background.
Ramon elements to it.
But it's got that sort of melody in
Yeah.
the choruses, which that's why you've got a few hooks in there. The other songs I pick out on this are like We Used To.
Yes, that
Which
was
is-
my favourite because, funny enough, like say the melody was really good, and it's what stood out to me.
It felt a lot more poppy, didn't it?
Yeah, it felt like a bit more accessible.
Yeah, just say California.
California, yeah.
California.
It sounded like a California punk band, like a skate punk band.
Yes, that's pretty much what they are, I think.
This is
But just
this is the first time listening to this, folks. Like, we only wiki this band in the second part of it, so for all we know, they could be like 3 German ladies.
yeah, I think you said at the start these aren't American.
Because the first song was These Changes, and the chorus was These Changes. These is a very hard word to sing. Because it was coming through like these changes, this
Yeah.
changes, but they could be from anywhere, and they're definitely American. But,
Yeah. But like they again just going back to
they're an American skate punk band.
yeah. There's no solos, but the drummer is putting a shift in.
Yeah,
it's constant either double bass or kick snare. The bass runs, which I like as well. Like the bass doesn't just follow the guitar. Like during the choruses, like you'll hear the bass like do a bit of a run to just flash out the music rather than just sort of follow what the guitar's doing. But yeah, I really like this, but it's so intense that obviously we've got a half-hour album of it. Seeing them play for an hour,
Yeah.
like Jesus, like I've off the back of this, I would go and see them at the tour. We'll see off the back of that, but I already know at least one of the songs on the second side because it's one of the ones I've heard, so I know the pace of that. I don't think it's gonna let up for the second half.
Shall we put the second half on and see?
Go on.
Let's do that, eh? Part 2 coming up. I hope you're enjoying this episode. Looking forward, I'm going to look into getting some sponsors to fill these little gaps here. But just so we're not big fat sellouts living off that corporate teat, if you've got anything you'd like to plug, your band, your podcast, just get in touch with us via the Schrod Pod Instagram, and we'll mention it in these little breaks here. And now back to the show. That was fine.
I feel that the second side wasn't as where do you go? You can only go slower.
Where do you go from there?
Yeah, like there's still some good tracks on there, like Classic U's, like
Just your takeaway track.
Yeah, it's the song that got me into the band, and it seems to be well liked across like a wide.
It's the single.
Yes, yes, that would make sense. But yeah, just it's rising. It's like on and on with nowhere left to go. Should have walked away. And like such a simple thing. You burn me once again. I should have known. How we soon forget. The same it goes. It's always the classic you. Like being let down by that one guy again and again and again. But yeah, just simple song there, which. Musically it doesn't seem simple, but the concept, in terms of it. The 2 songs I didn't really like were Forget About You and Move On. They were still quick, but they'd done that palm muting thing, which makes it seem it gives it the perception of being a bit slower. But yeah, it wasn't, it just dipped a bit for me, and then Knocked Down, the last track, I thought was a bit repetitive, because it was knocked down, got up again, fight another round, got down, got knocked down.
What I said during that was like if there was a singer at the center of this, they could have maybe done more with that.
Yeah, there was a few like hinting of like not lead guitar parts, but that 90s pop thing of where you have sort of the guitar leading the song, the vocals taking a step back, and everything, but that didn't really go anywhere. Odd history of this band looking at it. So again, seems like MOD, like you said, this is either a side project or they're mates of someone. So discovered by Penny, or the frontman of Pennywise, released a record in '99, and then seemingly did nothing
See,
until 2019.
I don't think it's that they're friends or anyone or anything, that they are friend. They've got there because of nepotism. I think it's just that they are, like, plans were there when they started. The main guy left, and they kind of all went their separate ways, but came back together a long time later, and now they're just like, it's more of a, I want to say side project. It's just something else they do. Like, they have like normal lives.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to accuse like nepotism or anything like that, but it just seems odd that there's that like 23 years between albums
doing other stuff.
It's,
you know?
Yeah, it's just a hell of a long time.
I did an interview with the guy from Chicks Digger. It's like a big Canadian pop band.
I think they might be on Fat Records.
They are, yeah. But like the reason, like they have not released an album in 10 years, and they only tour like every 5 years. And the guy in the interview is like, "Why?" He's like, "Dude, we have jobs. We're normal people. Like, there's not everyone can make a living in punk rock, so we do this shit."
Similar to the reason why we got onto this in the first place. Reading about Propaganda, and you've heard Back to the Motor League.
Mm-hmm.
Which is supposedly a song where they were like that pissed off with the record company that, I don't know what record company it was on, but if they were getting that pissed off with the way the fans were and the way the company were, they're like, we don't make money off this shit.
Yeah.
So like, if you don't like it, we'll happily go back and work at the fucking Motor League again. Like, I love that song. It's so good. But yeah, I feel there's a lot of propaganda on this, but yeah, just found it bizarre, like interesting things about, you expect it's like, oh, I've picked up this, oh, it was only released last year, it's really quick, it's got a really fast pace, these are probably like 20 somethings starting out, and it's like, no, they're like they're near in their 50s.
They just actually missed the boat the first time around and are now having fun just being in a band, which is cool.
Yeah.
But that said, though, like, again, I don't want to slag these lads off because I did enjoy it. It's just not my thing.
Yeah.
My sense of punk rock is Chicks Digger, Teenage Bottle Rocket, it's Ramones core. Hang on, let me read the thing to you. Ladwagon, Madcaps, Good Riddance, all bands I've heard of. I'm just gone like, nah, not for me.
It's too much. It's too much of one thing. Like, you need that bit of variety there. Like, this is only half an hour, but especially towards the end, I feel some of it to the end of the first side and to the end of the second side, it was starting to drag a bit.
Well, it's like you pointed out with Forgot About Me and Move being two of the biggest like songs on the thing. They're two songs about the same thing right next to each other. Like in Forget About Me is about, hey, forget about me. It starts off with like, pick your stuff up, whatever. But then the chorus of the next one is, I won't forget about you.
Yeah.
So it's just the same song from a different perspective. Like, why put that? He's going to do that on the same album. Together? Why put it right next to each other?
Yeah.
Just write some more interesting stuff.
Yeah. Like,
no offense.
Like, some of the I really like, may come across as a bit of an odd comparison. I love Process the Hero because of it. They're just all over the place. It's like you don't know what corner it's going to turn next, but they do sort of change it up with the pacing of some of the songs, and there's a bit of variety there. But even that band, I have to sort of like, I can listen to about an album's worth, and then I'm like, I need to step away. Like,
that's a good way. It's half an hour then, isn't it? That's a benefit to it. Yeah.
But yeah, I think it'd be interesting to hear what the first record sounds like. Whether it's this, because it could be completely different from this. But yeah, that's something I think I'll take away and do. But yeah, just again, like, you expect to pick up a record like this, and it's like, oh, it'll just be, you think you've got the story in your head about, as I say, picks up this thinking, oh, it's from last year, it's probably a new band. And it's like, no, the first release was 23 years ago.
Well,
right.
Speaking of like the story of the album cover had me completely misled. I thought it was going to be literary core. I thought we were going to maybe even get some songs about space robots and stuff. Just lads, songs about skating and being in a band and breaking up with girls, which is fine. Just I don't need that much of that in my life, guys. Sorry again.
From 40-somethings as well. They're- yeah,
Time to get over it.
so like lyrically a hell of a lot better than the MOD records.
Oh Christ, there's no comparison.
But yeah, few of the songs a bit samey, but some really interesting things in there, which I like.
The song "Armor" is made into my songs of the. I gather 100 songs throughout the year to one playlist that I compile, and I like that one just because the little line at the end there: "Keep pressing on and on, be feared by everyone."
Yeah,
that's all it takes for me to be like, yes, I'll have that now. So, yeah, I don't regret listening to that album. Would I listen to it again? Probably not in full, but at the same time, it's only half an hour, so I probably would just let it run. But I would definitely put some of those tracks on again.
Yeah, I'd like playlist of just I listen to like this is on a running playlist. There will be a few more songs going off on that for when I'm doing running, because I either find really long, fast thrash metal songs work for running in terms of pacing too, but also really short punk songs. So yeah, there will be a lot going on. So I think it's 1-1. I think we've got a record for the keep pile.
Okay, that's the question. Is it going on the shelf or is it going in the bin?
It's going on my shelf.
Going on the shelf. I'd put it on mine as well.
Yeah. You pull out a few tracks off this every now and again.
Honestly, I'd pull it out just to look at it every now and again. We didn't talk about how the actual LP, the scent, I don't know what you call the scent part of it, like where the center label art goes is this skull dude with his helmet on. I think that's really cool.
I do like it when
it looks like
the
French sci-fi art. You know what I mean? Like Mobius kind of era stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, good looking album. Okay sounding.
Yeah.
It's a good sounding album. It's just not my thing, and that's fine.
Well, that's what this is about. It's
Sure.
about trying to find new stuff. I thought this would be like, oh great, a brand new band to listen to that only got one release now. Well, yeah, it's the way it goes with this.
It's the way she goes. That's been another episode of Schrodinger's Track, and join us next time for another one where who knows what we'll get into. Could be thrash, could be metal, could be swing. Who knows?
I think you want to listen to some like space rock after.
That would be pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to find a Hawkwind rip-off band to listen
and
to.
you'll have to come back and join us again, fans. You can listen to us on tophatsandcanes.com, where you can also watch the video on Top Hats and Canes YouTube, or follow us on, the Instas and all that business. And we'll see you again next time. The episode is over. That's the catchphrase. We're working on it.